The reflection of 14th Sunday in Ordinary Time Year B is prepared by Father Ayub Francis, pastor at St. Jude Parish in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, today's readings present us with a profound theme that resonates deeply with our human experience: rejection. Rejection is something we all face in various forms throughout our lives. Whether it's personal, professional, or spiritual, rejection can be deeply painful. However, our readings today provide us with insights into how we can handle rejection through the examples of Ezekiel, St. Paul, and Jesus. First reading, Ezekiel chapter 2 verse 2-5. In our first reading, we hear about the prophet Ezekiel being sent by God to the Israelites, a rebellious and stubborn people. God warns Ezekiel that they may not listen to him, but he is to speak God's words regardless. This teaches us that being faithful to God's call is more important than the immediate outcome or the response of others. Ezekiel's mission is a testament to perseverance and trust in God, even in the face of potential rejection. Psalm 1-3, 1-4. The psalmist echoes this theme, crying out to God for mercy and expressing the pain of contempt and scorn from the proud and arrogant. This cry for help and recognition of human frailty is something we can all relate to. It reminds us to lift our eyes to God, seeking His mercy and grace when we face rejection and contempt from others. Second reading, 2 Corinthians 12, 7-10. In the second reading, St. Paul shares a personal struggle, a thorn in his flesh that he repeatedly asked the Lord to remove. Instead of removing it, God tells Paul, "Grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness." Paul learns to embrace his weakness because it is through his weakness that God's power is revealed. Paul's acceptance of his limitations and his reliance on God's grace show us that rejection and hardship can be transformative when we trust in God's providence. Gospel, Mark 6, 1-6a. In the Gospel, we see Jesus experiencing rejection in his own hometown. Despite his wisdom and miraculous deeds, the people took offense at him, questioning his authority and identity. Jesus' response to their unbelief was profound. He continued his mission, albeit with a heavy heart, teaching us that rejection does not define our worth or our mission. Instead, it can redirect us to where we are needed most. Practical lessons. 1. Perseverance and faith. Like Ezekiel, we are called to be faithful to God's mission, regardless of others' responses. Our task is to proclaim the truth and live out our faith, trusting God with the outcome. 2. Embrace weakness. St. Paul teaches us to see our weaknesses and struggles as opportunities for God's power to shine through. When we face rejection, we should rely on God's grace, which is sufficient for all our needs. 3. Redirection and rejection. Jesus' experience of rejection in Nazareth reminds us that rejection can be a means of redirection. It can lead us to new opportunities and areas where we can be more fruitful in our mission. Reflection question. As we reflect on today's readings and the theme of rejection, let us ask ourselves, how can I allow God's grace to transform my experiences of rejection into opportunities for growth and deeper faith? May we always find strength and comfort in God's unending grace, knowing that He works through our weaknesses and leads us to where we are most needed.